Hey guys, good morning. Just wanted to make a quick video. It's going to sound weird. I had a great morning trading, one of my best mornings ever. And the kicker is I did not place any trades at all. Zero, none. So how does that work? That's kind of the point of the video. As I continue just to work on myself, not necessarily on my strategy, work on myself, I came to the realization this morning just how big a role dopamine a dopamine hit is for traders. I'm several years into this process of trying to figure out how to become a profitable trader, and in that first 2, 3, 4 years, whatever it is, we get addicted to being right. So we'll sit there and try to predict where it's going. And if we predict where it's going, whether it's in a demo mode or in a live account, a funded account, it doesn't matter. When we predict and it goes in our direction and we see that P&L turn green and go in the right direction, there's a huge dopamine hit that we get from it, and that is so addictive. So with that being said, this morning, I'm trade NASDAQ at the open, and there's a lot of volatility. That I'm on the 5-minute chart, but that first 5-minute candle is typically really moving, and so we have this innate FOMO greed kick in to jump in it, but really underlying that, greed to make money is this underlying subconscious desire or need or understanding that there's dopamine associated with placing a trade and being right. So with all that said, this morning, I have one setup, a very particular setup that I'm looking for, and this morning at the open, it wasn't there. That being said, I'm watching these huge candles move, and it's so enticing just to FOMO into that thing, just to try to catch. I'm just going to catch a little bit. I'll have a big ass stop loss, and I'll just try to grab a little bit, just to try to grab a little dopamine. That is so bad. I think if you're chasing dopamine, I just don't think you can be profitable. You have to, and I'm speaking and preaching to myself, you have to detach your trading from that. You have to trade your plan. And my goal is, if I can just trade my plan, not FOMO into anything, that at the end of a while, a month, 6 months, whatever, a time period of trading, I'll be able to make a withdrawal, get some actual money. And there will be a big fat dopamine rush associated with a check, a withdrawal check. And for most of us struggling, we've never really had that. We've never had that alternate dopamine hit from a chunk of money. So we just kind of live in this trading world where it only comes from being right. So 2 different dopamines, one being right and one getting money. And I'm suggesting and talking to myself that we need to transition from one dopamine to a different dopamine, and they are different because that instant gratification you can get from. I mean, I can sit on a 1 minute chart and just trade and trade and trade and trade and trade and trade and trade. I mean, it's a hamster wheel of dopamine that I control. All I got to do is click a button. It's kind of like a gambling addict or a crack addict who has unlimited supply. As much as I want to do, I can do it. Now, if you're on a live account, obviously you're going to run out of money. But for a lot of us who are in a simulation mode or a demo mode, or we've been in live and now we're in demo, with a demo account, you didn't just reset it. And surprisingly, there's an enormous amount of dopamine that you can get in a demo mode. It's crazy. When you tell somebody who doesn't trade, they'd be like, well, what, how can you, it's fake money. Who cares? And I think when you're in that, it's not even about the money. It's not about the money. It's about being right. The dopamine comes from being right. And I think people can understand and appreciate that portion of it. And so this morning, I'm proud of myself. I sat there and watched these big candles jump all over the place. And I had my buy, both directions, my buy and my sell orders up multiple times, just ready to click and just to FOMO in and try to grab a little bit. Thankfully, I didn't do that, because as I sat there and watched it, it was all over the place. It was like one big, huge hour of manipulation. Up, down, up, down, up, down. I mean, it was complete garbage. And I guess if you have a strategy or a setup that recognizes that garbage, that range, and takes advantage of it, more power to you. You could absolutely do that. If that's you and that's your strategy, then you need to stay out of a smooth, trending day, because that's not your setup. But for me, I'm looking for that smooth, trending day. And the last 3 days, Tuesday, Monday, Friday, nothing. That's hard to just sit there and nope, not again. Nope, not again. Nope, not again. Because you're essentially denying yourself, that rush, that dopamine hit. So anyway, I think y'all get the point of it. I don't want to keep rambling on. Hopefully that makes sense to you and you can apply that to your own trading journey. One other thought, and then I'll wrap it up. There are things that we can do to remove and detach our trading from this dopamine. And one of them is to not watch your P&L after you get in a trade. I understand that if you're actively managing your take profit and or your stop loss, that you have to do that. But maybe for myself and us initially, it's too much. Our emotions just going to wreak havoc on us. So a way to avoid all of that is to get in a trade and close your laptop. Don't set alerts for, don't do anything. Set your static stop loss and your static TP, and then get in it, and then close it, and then come back the next day. So I'm once again talking to myself. I'm really going to try to do that, and I think that will be very helpful, because I'm not watching it. I mean, getting in a trade and sitting there and watching it is so bad. So anyway, that's the last point. Hope that was helpful. Talk to you guys later. Bye.